Hey, I've been prepping a ton of videos lately because I'm about to be extremely busy marketing my new game, and I still need to keep the algorithm fed. So I figured, why not binge record a bunch of reviews? One of the games I picked for this was Afterburner, because every Sega fan on Earth swears this game is amazing. And despite me growing up with the Genesis, and later becoming a massive Dreamcast fan, I somehow never played it. Same with a bunch of other classic Sega arcade games. It just slipped by me. So I thought, alright, let's fix that. Before we get into the home versions, though, I want to talk about the original arcade game, because its development is actually pretty interesting. You see, a lot of the team behind Afterburner had previously worked on Outrun, and Sega was aiming high with this one. Afterburner was intended to be their first true blockbuster, the kind of game that would dominate arcades worldwide. The project was so important that Sega kept it under tight wraps, and development happened in a separate building called Studio 128. Thanks to Sega's new Flex Time system that let developers work outside of the main offices. Yusuke, I think I'm saying his name right, originally wanted the game to have a much more fantasy adventure vibe, inspired by Luptuba, Castle in the Sky. I probably butchered that name too, but oh well. But that idea got scrapped early. Instead, they pivoted hard into a Top Gun aesthetic, because Suzuki wanted something that would appeal to a global audience. And honestly, mission accomplished. Fighter jets, missiles, and explosions? Yeah, that seems to appeal to most gamers. At least most male gamers. Don't really know about the women. Unfortunately, there's no real modern way to play the original arcade version of Afterburner. No official re-release, no easy port, nothing. Which is a real shame. But what's an even bigger shame is the fact that I couldn't actually experience the original Afterburner arcade cabinets. Because those weren't just games, they were an experience. You see, Afterburner was the fourth Sega game to use their hydraulic Talakine, I assume I'm saying that right, motion simulator cabinet. And this thing was wild. It had a full cockpit seat, a flight stick, and a seat belt. And the entire machine tilted, rolled, and rotated with your jet. It basically tried to yeet you into the stratosphere. I've never seen one in person, but I can only imagine how incredible it must have been. Then Sega released Afterburner 2 not long after, which improved the gameplay and became the version most people remember. Alright, with all that out of the way, let's talk about the home ports. And keeping track of Afterburner home ports is like trying to organize a drawer full of loose HDMI cables. There are a lot of versions, and half of them contradict each other. But for this review, I wanted to play the versions that are the closest to the original arcade. Meaning, the Sega Master System version and the NES version. Yes, it exists, and we'll get to that. And yes, I know there was a Game Boy Advanced version, as well as a Sega Saturn version. But they're almost nothing like the original arcade game, and it's basically Afterburner 2. Just mislabeled. And the Master System version is also the one most people played back in the day. And it's generally considered the closest attempt at recreating the arcade experience. Granted, it was on 8-bit hardware, but still, they tried. So, is Afterburner any good? Short answer, yes. But also no. But also yes. The game is fun. It's simple, fast, and very Top Gun, but legally distinct. You pilot an F-14 Tomcat through 18 stages and blow up everything that moves, and occasionally refuel for bonus points. There's technically a story about retrieving secret plans and returning them to the warship called the Sega Enterprise, which raises so many questions that I don't even have time for. But here's the thing, I didn't finish the game. Not because it was too hard, not because I got bored, not because I rage quit. I stopped at level 11 because this game made me physically sick. I am not exaggerating. I got headaches and I got really bad nausea. After about 20 minutes, I felt like I was gonna throw up. Afterburner didn't shoot me down, it shot down my stomach. So, why did Afterburner on the Master System make me feel like I was about to redecorate my floor? Well, there's actually a real technical explanation for this. The Master System version is basically a perfect storm of things that make your brain panic. First off, the arcade version used Sega's fancy super scaler hardware, which smoothed sprite zooming, had fluid motion, and all that good stuff. The Master System version did not have any of that. So instead of really scaling, it fakes it by rapidly swapping sprites, which makes everything jitter, pop, and teleport towards you. So your eyes see motion, your inner ear feels nothing, and your brain goes, "We're dying." Then there's the horizon line, which never stays still. It flickers, it jumps, and it tilts in weird increments, and it changes colors like it's trying to communicate with aliens. Combine that with frame rate, which dips harder than Bitcoin in 2018, and you get this bizarre mix of fast movement, slow frame rate, plus visual chaos. That's basically the holy trinity of I'm gonna throw up. So yeah, fun game if your stomach can handle it. Now let's talk about the music, because Afterburner on the Master System actually has 2 different soundtracks. Someday I might do a Master System video and explain why some Master System games have 2 soundtracks, but the short version is, the PSG version is the default Master System sound chip. The FM sound unit version is from a fancy add-on that Japan got, but North America didn't. And I'm gonna say it, neither version really did it for me. There isn't a ton of music in the game to begin with, and what's there just didn't stick with me while I was playing. Here, I'll let you take a listen to see what I mean. Honestly, I ended up listening to a lot of Autopilot Off instead, which, by the way, fits very well with dodging missiles at Mach 3. Seriously, listen to make a sound while you play this game, and tell me it doesn't fit absolutely perfectly. But I'll give the FM version this. For some reason, the title music sounds like it wandered in from a James Bond movie. I don't know why, and I don't know how, but it has this weird spy thriller energy that absolutely does not match the rest of the game. Seriously, take a listen to the FM sound chip version of the main menu music and tell me this wouldn't go perfectly in a James Bond film. Before we move on, do you want to know the most ridiculous cheat code I've ever seen in a video game? Because Afterburner on the Master System has it. If you want to continue from the stage you died on, here's what you have to do. Step 1, go to the title screen and press the pause button 100 times. Yes, 100 times. I'm not making that up. Step 2, start the game, die, and when you hit the game over screen, hold up +1 +2 at the same time. Do that and you can continue from the stage you died on. Sure, you can skip the pause 100 times part, but if you do that, you will only be able to continue up to twice. I tried entering this code with the 100 times pause part, and I swear, it's like the game was judging me. Like, I imagine the developers were like, if the player wants to continue, make them mash the pause button 100 times. If they're willing to do that, they've earned it. I couldn't even get the code to work. Either my timing was off, or the game just looked at me and said, no. Suffer! It's honestly the perfect metaphor for this version of Afterburner. Fun, chaotic, and occasionally trying to make you physically ill. But the Master System wasn't the only 8-bit attempt at an Afterburner. There was also an NES version. And look, I'll give it this much. It didn't make me physically sick playing it. That's already a win compared to the Master System version. But that's where the compliments end. The NES version was published by Tengen in 1989. And if you know anything about Tengen, you already know where this is going. This was one of their famous, unlicensed black cartridges that was actually ported from the Japanese Famicom version made by Sunsoft. And yes, that means this isn't even an officially licensed Nintendo game. Technically. So, how does it play? Short answer, not great. Long answer, really not great. Even though it didn't make me nauseous, it has a whole different set of problems. For one, the control feels super stiff and unresponsive. The game is slower, which helps my stomach, but hurts the gameplay. The hit detection is all over the place. Like, seriously, I can barely hit anything with the machine gun in this version. Dodging missiles is somehow harder than in the Master System version, and visually it's pretty rough. On the Master System, I could actually play it well. It felt like a real attempt at recreating the arcade game. On the NES, I could barely hit anything. It's like the game actively resists the idea of you having fun. And yes, the soundtrack, still isn't good. I don't know what it is about 8-bit Afterburner, but none of these versions really nail the music. The NES soundtrack is just kind of there. Not offensive, not memorable, just existing. Honestly, the best thing I can say about the NES version is it didn't make me sick, and it unintentionally made me laugh. You see, instead of returning the secret plans to the Sega Enterprise like in the Master System version, this one has you returning them to the Tenjin ship, named after the publisher, which is hilarious. I mean, I guess they would need a battleship if they're going up against Nintendo's legal team. Those guys are basically assassin ninjas. You'd need a warship in international waters just to stand a chance against them. So yeah, that's all I really have to say about Afterburner. I might cover the sequels at some point, not entirely sure yet. But as far as the original is concerned, I don't feel like I missed out on too much by not playing it sooner. Still, I'm glad I finally got around to doing it, because it was definitely an interesting experience. I mean, I played some amazing games on this channel, and I played some absolutely horrible games. Looking at you, Ghosts and Goblins and Ninja Gaiden Trilogy, but never have I ever played a game that made me physically sick. Afterburner is the first game to claim that title. So yeah, congratulations Afterburner, achievement unlocked. So, did you grow up with Afterburner? Do you like these games? Leave a comment down below and let me know. And of course, like the video and subscribe if you enjoy it. And if you want to support the channel even more, my studio actually makes video games. Our first game, Nova Rebellion, is already out on Steam and itch.io. But I've got another one coming out on July 4th. That game being Myths and Monsters. And I cannot wait to show it to you guys. So, I'll end the video with an ad roll of Myths and Monsters. Roll trailer. Hey everybody, Troy Schultz here, aka the Anti-Gamer Slayer. And the Centurion Dragon Studios has a new game coming out soon. So I figured I would show you the combat system, because you'll be spending a lot of time in it. Myths and Monsters has a lot going on, so let's jump right in. First things first, you do pick a class at the start of the game, and that choice affects so much about the combat system. Your stats, what weapons you'll use, the armor you can equip, you know, stuff like that. You got the warrior, who's for all the idiots out there who just wanna punch shit. Then of course, there's the Spellblade, which is a hybrid between a swordmaster and a sorcerer. They're not as tough as warriors, but they're way more flexible, and get access to cool magic. You also got rogues, rangers, and my personal favorite, the sorcerer. Now, the thing about sorcerers is they are easily the most powerful class in the entire game, but they don't start that way. Granted, max level sorcerers are casting supernovas and black holes like it's nobody's business, but the road to get there is pretty long and hard. They actually start out as the weakest class in the game. But if you're willing to put in the effort, sorcerers are overpowered as fuck. Now the combat is all turn-based, But there's many weapons to use and many different playstyles. And yeah, I can't reveal anything beyond that. Sorry guys. But hey, the game comes out July 4th. And I hope to see you guys on launch day. It'll be released for Windows PC on Steam and itch.io. Oh, and if you're a YouTuber, shoot me an email with a link to your channel if you want a free review copy near launch day. And yeah, that's all I got for this trailer. Peace and stay safe out there, guys.